Hey guys, I'm gonna try to start doing at least 2 videos a week, so I guess we can call this one the second one for this week. Today we're going to be talking about a game you probably know from, I think, 2002 to 2006-ish. Something like that. It's Duel Masters. And you probably know that they rebooted a couple years ago, called it Kaijudo. By the way, good game, bad show, don't watch the show. So, the cards we're going to be talking about today are Survivors. It's a creature type that was... Well, if you know Magic the Gathering, you know slivers. This is the Duel Masters equivalent of a sliver. We've got... I don't have all of them, but the ones I have are pretty good. I would like to have the rest, so maybe someday. I have 2 Rumblesaurus Q in my deck. It gives them Speed Attacker. Survivors obviously share their abilities with other survivor creatures. So now I've got 2 Smash Horn Q, which gives survivors plus 1000 power. Unlike Power Attacker, this is on at all times. I've got 2 Balloon Shroom Q. When a survivor is destroyed, it becomes mana. So that one's really good because a lot of these have a fairly high cost. Giggling Q, which that sounds stupid when it's said out loud, but yeah. It gives survivors Slayer. It only has 2000 power for 5 mana, so you pretty much only do want it for its ability. Ripple Lotus Q has... Let me read this one. When a survivor enters the battle zone, you can tap one of your opponent's creatures. That with the Speed Attacker, that's good for getting around their blockers. Prometheus Q, he doesn't really have any effect, he just gets the other effects. He's kind of useless right now. Split Head, oh hold on, I didn't show you Ripple Lotus or Prometheus. Ripple Lotus, Prometheus. So yeah, alright, now back to Split Head Hydro Turtle Q. Whenever a survivor attacks, you can draw a card. Got 2 of that one. Spike Strike Ichthys Q. Survivors can't be blocked. So, you know, if you can't get around them by tapping them, this is the second best way to get around your opponent's blockers. Forbos Sanctum Guardian Q lets you take a spell from your deck and show it to your opponent and then put it into your hand anytime a survivor enters the battle zone. Pretty high cost, but at least he has 4000 power. Ballast Dogfight Enforcer Q gives your survivors the ability to untap at the end of each of your turns. And the last the last basic survivor in my deck for now, Galliazol Iron Guardian Q. It gives your survivors blocker. He's definitely worth the 5 mana. Now, there are 3 survivors that go way beyond any other survivor card in the game. They are the 3 Qtronics. Qtronic Gargantua, Qtronic Hypermind, and I don't know what the green one is, but he's really overpowered too. The only one I have is Qtronic Gargantua. 6 mana, 9000 power, he's an evolution, you evolve him from one of your survivors. He doesn't give his ability to anyone, but he sure gets them. And he has Crew Breaker. He can break 1 shield for every survivor in the battle zone. Yeah, every survivor in the battle zone. Now, that's the survivor base for my deck. It's exactly 1/2 of it. So now let's talk about their support, just because, you know, why not? I've got Energy Charger because 3 mana gives one of my creatures 2,000 power for the turn, and then it becomes a mana itself. That's always helpful for casting the big, the high cost survivors. Burning Power is in here just because a lot of the stuff is just to fill the deck out until I get more survivors. Rainbow Stone lets you take a card from your deck and put it in your mana zone. So that one's in here specifically to generate mana. Same for Fairy Life, only it's a shield trigger, so if it's a shield and it's broken, you can cast it for free. It puts the top card of your deck into your mana. So that's really good. Ultimate Force does the same for more mana, but it puts the top 2 cards into your mana. Dimension Gate is another shield trigger. It searches your deck for a creature, you show it to your opponent, put it in your hand, then shuffle. That's good for getting out Cutronic Gargantua. You get him in your hand, you can probably cast him by the time you can do that. I'm not going to try and pronounce this one. It's probably easy, but it's kind of later in the day and I'm tired, so this one's in here just because it has a tap ability that does pretty much the same thing as Dimension Gate. So you're going to not want to attack with this one. Use it only for its effect. Let's see, Burning Mane is another one of those cards like Burning Power. You only use it for mana, so, another filler card. Mighty Shouter, though, he's a little bit of both, kind of important and a filler. When he's destroyed, he's put into your mana zone, and as you can see, this is the promo. I don't know if that really matters to anyone, so let's just get to the next one. Bloody Squeedo, because you can never have enough low-cost blockers. Only downside is if he wins a battle, he's destroyed too, but, Marrow Ooze the Twister is pretty much the same. He costs 1 to cast, has 1,000 power, and the only time he's destroyed for winning is when he attacks your opponent. So, if you don't want him to go away, don't try and break a shield with him. Wandering Brain Eater. 2 mana for 2,000 power, and he can't attack. But really, why would you attack with a blocker that's not at least 5,000 power? Dark Raven, Shadow of Grief. 4 mana for a 1,000 power blocker. Not the best, but I needed blockers. My Darkness deck was already full, so I put him in here. Riptide Charger is another one of those cards that goes to your mana zone as soon as you cast it. Choose a creature in the battle zone and return it to its owner's hand. It's good for bouncing a blocker if you can't use your survivors to get around it. Again, it's pretty much in here just because it's one of the chargers that turns into mana. Thrash Crawler is a blocker, and when he's put into the battle zone, you return a card from your mana zone to your hand, but he can't attack. That's good if you had to use one of your survivors as mana. That, if you needed to have mana right now, but you didn't want to use... Yeah, you can see the strategy. I'm not going to try and explain it. I'm not good with words. 4 mana for 5,000 power. Another shield trigger, Mystic Dreamscape. Return up to 3 cards from your mana zone to your hand. Again, like with Thrash Crawler's effect, I'm not going to try and explain the strategy, but it's there if you need it. Brain Serum is a shield trigger that only lets you draw up to 2 cards. Kind of not really great, but it produces blue mana, so why not use it? Phenatine Jade Tree, 3 mana for 4,000 power. It can't attack players, and it is a blocker. So either use it to block or use it for the light mana it produces. Same for La Uragiga Sky Guardian. 1 mana, 2000 power, can't attack players, and again, blocker. And then, last, we have 2 Emerald Grass. 3000 power for 2 mana, can't attack players, and blocker. So if the survivors don't stop you, the blockers will, and the survivors will hurt you. That's all for today. See you next time.